From Bakersfield to the corners of Kern County, the best moments from your Golden Empire gridirons. 17 Sports Director Taylor Shaw, football analyst, Renegade head coach R. Todd Littlejohn. This is FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition. Driven by Sangera Subaru and Dignity Health, Mercy and Memorial Hospitals.
Coach, it was like blinking you'll miss it. Week 5 of the high school football season has already come and gone.
Already, and it's funny, we said that week 2, and now it's already week 5, so it does fly by.
Well, welcome everybody to another expanded edition of FFX. I'm Taylor Schaub, Coach Littlejohn joining me as always. And Coach, what's it time for?
It's time to give the people what they want.
Gather round. It's time for your FFX Game of the Week, powered by SCOE, your Southern California Orthopedic Institute.
All right, Coach, we begin as always with our Game of the Week. The Independence Falcons came into this one after a win against South, and the Frontier Titans, they just narrowly lost to Hanford, and they're looking like one of the best teams in Kern County.
We talked about them last year, and they've just continued to thrive and excel, and especially winning some tough games late. They're a different team now, I tell you.
Ranked in the top 10 heading into this one and led by junior sensation Malachi Statler. The Titans' high-powered offense is averaging nearly 34 points a game this season. First quarter, Statler finds Case Shelton, who does the rest, Coach.
Great play right there with a great combination of those two, and man, great play.
That sent shock waves through the stadium. It was homecoming night, and Statler put on a show, finding his main man, Mason Tapia, the diving snag. Tapia had 3 catches for 63 yards and a score, and then Anthony Rico finally finds the end zone for Independence. Rico's been good all year.
Yes, he has, and we talked about him as well. We knew that we were going to be mentioning his name throughout the course of the year.
But this was all Statler in this one. He finds Kobe Watson, the 3-yard touchdown. Statler was 19 of 25, 384 yards and 3 scores. Frontier takes it 35-21.
Yeah, he played great. I mean, he did a great job. Like I said, offense, played pretty darn well tonight. Had one drive, where we turned over on downs, didn't score when we wanted to do in the red zone. But other than that one throw, he played a great game tonight.
A win's a win. It wasn't beautiful in the end, but I mean, we got the job done. It's homecoming. It's always good to win on homecoming, but this is definitely not how we want to win.
All right, Coach, take a look at this stat line. Ridiculous by Malachi Statler.
Yes, it is. It goes to show that he didn't have a lot of errors right there in his past completion ratio, so excellent job by that young man.
He continues to make a case for the FFX MVP award. Now, one of Frontier's biggest rivals was up north, fresh off that heartbreaking loss to Buchanan. Liberty, Coach, they were trying to get back on track, but that's hard when you feel like you should have won that game and you should still be perfect.
No question, but as Coach Nixon said, it's one of the things that you just have to do. There's nothing that you can do about last week. You just got to continue to look forward and prepare for the next game.
It's a rematch of the D1 Valley title game. This is scoreless in the second quarter when the Patriots finally get to the promised land. It's running back Jalen Hankins, Coach.
We've said his name before, and he continues to be a producer on offense for Liberty.
He's a bad man. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. Central would respond. Quarterback Dayton Tafoya airs it out.
That's a big play.
That was a great play, Coach. Yes. I know both you and I were kind of looking at that like, no wow, doubt. And I've already seen the highlights. Oh, Dalen Hall hauls that thing in. Central would have to settle for a field goal, though, and they're unable to get revenge for last year's playoff loss. As the Patriots get back on track, they win it 35-10. And, Coach, this was a total team effort. Look, Jace Nixon was pretty good in this game. Obviously, Jalen Hankins, we talked about it. The defense limited Central to just 11 yards on 18 carries. I mean, Brian Nixon's got his boys going.
No doubt. They have multiple guys on offense that can make plays. We've already seen their defense play extremely well. They just put it together, and great response, obviously, after last week's loss.
All right, to downtown, BHS looking to string a pair of wins together, hosting Clovis North. The Bakersfield defense scoring the only touchdown of the first half. Tybo Rogers scoops up the fumble there, takes it, so he plays both ways. We know that. He also was just really good in this game. 200 yards of total offense, scored both of BHS's touchdowns. But, Coach, What happens when your team allows 375 yards on the ground and 110 yards in penalties?
It's not going to be a good outcome at all.
No.
Not at all.
Clovis North takes this one 37-14. We had a fun one on Thursday night. Shafter was at home playing their first league game in Shafter in 2 years. Let's roll the highlights. They're trying to stay perfect against Chavez. In the third, star running back Koa Rhodes. He's got better footwork than a ballerina, dodges the defender, and darts his way in for the 28-yard score.
That's some great footwork, like you said right there. Wow, what a great run by him.
171 and 3 scores on the ground. Ezekiel Osborne, he threw 2 touchdowns in this one, but this wasn't one of them. Chavez's Moses Moreno snags the pass. It's a 65-yard pick six. It's a tie game, and Chavez just kept battling in this one. Titans in the red zone. Israel Gonzalez takes the plunge. So Chavez is up 7 with 4 to play, but Coach Shafter didn't go quietly into the night.
They did not go quietly, but boy, I knew they definitely knew that they had a game on their hands with Chavez.
That was Marion Slow with the 13-yard reception for the touchdown. So the Generals are down 1, and they have to go for 2 if they want to win it. They could have tied it, but they didn't trust their kicker now, did they?
No, they didn't. And special teams, again, as we've said all along, are a crucial part of the game.
All right, Shafter's first loss of the season.
It's one of those games. I wish I was up in the stands with the tub of popcorn because it was a great high school football game. I'm so happy we came out on the winning side, but I'm proud of my guys for believing and didn't panic.
They took away our run game, so that means that our freshman quarterback needed to make plays, and I didn't prepare him well enough. So back to the drawing board, but definitely a game that we let slip away. And that's the hard thing about it.
Still ahead on FFX. For the first time since Cody Kessler started under center, Coach, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Centennial enters league play unbeaten. How the Jayhawks utilized all their different weapons to soar past Sanger. Plus, it's time for another installment of Taylor's Trivia. And speaking of the Jayhawks, when was the last time Centennial started the season 5-0? Was it A, 2016, B, 2013, C, 2010, or D, 2007? The answer when we return.
You're watching FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition, powered by Sangera Subaru, serving Kern County for over 50 years. You're watching FFX, the Sunday Expanded Edition, powered by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you, when was the last time Centennial started a season 5-0? Now, if you guessed C, as in 2010, you were correct. Now, Coach, the quarterback coach combo back then was Cody Kessler and Brian Nixon. Not bad.
That's a good one, actually.
Oh, man. Well, 2010 may not feel like that long ago. In that 12-year gap, Kessler's had a successful stint under center for USC and a cup of coffee in the league, while Nixon's transformed rival Liberty into one of the state's top programs. Now, Centennial comes in having outscored the opposition 174-49 during their 4-game winning streak. Hawks opened the scoring with a touchdown on the opening kick, but Sanger's Connor Bolkin evens it up with a 43-yard rumble. So this game is tied at 7. Then Jayhawks star quarterback Adam Kopis will break the tie, calls his own number. Kopis, so good, Coach.
Hey, Kopis was with us a couple weeks ago, and he's continuing to stay on fire.
All right, 14-7 Golden Hawks, and then it would be the fireworks. Jonathan Boyd, huge hole up the middle, untouched. Look, as Helmer gets turned around.
Gotta love it. Great move in the open field, too, against that defender.
All right, it's Jackson Santiago. Speaking of great footwork, Coach, look at that.
That's a big man, too. Wow.
The Jayhawks roll in this one, 35-26. That's your final. Now, like Centennial, few people could have predicted that Tehachapi would enter Week 5 unbeaten, but the return of the Mountain Men has been one of the best stories going. Warriors traveled down to Bear Country, trying to go 5-0 for the first time since 2002. I was 3 years old back then, just for reference. Arvin getting the score going early. Coach, does that make you feel old?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, that was Xavier Reynosa. He would hammer it in. That was Arvin's only touchdown of this game. Tehachapi answered with their MVP, A.J. Anderson finds a hold, takes it to the house. Anderson finished 144 yards and 2 scores. And this guy, we can't say enough. Maybe he's going to be the FFX MVP.
No question. You know, another one of our young men that was Player of the Week, and he just continues to thrive each week.
Carson Tidewater, he's all over the place in this one. 153 all-purpose yards, that touchdown, 2 picks. That's what you need. Swiss Army knives. Coach loves to say it. 28-10. That's your final. Now, we were talking about Anderson just a second ago, and let's talk about him some more. 144 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and this is an off night for him. All right, we had plenty more action this week, and, well, we've got Chris Burton in studio to break it all down. Chris?
Well, Taylor, it was crunch time this week for a few Kern County teams looking to turn their fate around before league play starts. Here's a look around the county. The Wildcats and T-Birds started league play with a defensive battle in Taft. Kennedy up 6-0 in the third when Salvador Sanchez decides to double their lead. 37-yard scamper up the middle puts the Thunderbirds up 14-0, and Kennedy's defense would force 4 turnovers, blanking Taft 21-0. Wasco in McFarland trying to bounce back from their first regular season loss in 2 years. Tigers strike early and they strike often. First quarter up 7. Isaiah Juarez breaks a few tackles for the 20-yard touchdown. He finished with 147 yards and 2 scores. Second quarter now, Wasco up 19-0. David Monzo uncorks a bomb to Isaiah Acosta. Tigers up 25-0. Monzo would throw for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns as Wasco crushes the Cougars 45-14. We had a wild one out at Highland. Scots had a 9-point lead at the half, but Porterville came out firing after intermission. Panthers scored 18 unanswered points, capped off by Aldreno Nunez's 60-yard catch and run to put Porterville up 30-21 in the fourth. Scots would rally late. It is 30-28 with 4 seconds left. A field goal from 57 yards out takes the game, but Peter Parra comes up way short. Panthers hang on, 30-28 the final.
The fact that our guys fought for the whole game, we got up, we got down, we continued to fight. We couldn't be proud of our guys. We definitely think we improved in many aspects besides the X and O's, just kind of that mental ability to keep playing throughout a game.
It was homecoming over to Foothill, and the new king gave his school quite the show. El Cid Trevino rushed for 42 yards and 2 scores, including this third quarter cut up the middle to give the Trojans a 28-point lead. After starting 0-3, the rebuilding Trojans win their second straight, blanking Rosamond 28-0. Things weren't as pretty over at South. 0-4 Spartans hosting Fillmore. Flashes jumped on South early. Anthony Tafoya airs it out to a wide-open Jared Uridell. Fillmore would never look back. South falls to 0-5, 30-6 your final. And the Vikings boarded the ship for a trip to the coast, down 7-0 in the second. Vikes QB Jack Parks calls his own number, goes up the gut for a 35-yard touchdown. But that would be West's only score as the Eagles soar to a 37-7 victory. Up north, Stockdale bounces back from a tough loss. Mustangs hold off El Diamante 12-9 for their first win in 2022. And closer to home, Kern Valley topped Miramonte 28-14. And despite Tyhon Jones rushing for 147 yards on the score, the Golden Valley Bulldogs fell 34-24 in Madera. That's a look around the county from week 5 of the high school football season. All right, well, after that rundown, let's take a look at how the standings at the top of the central section play out. These are according to Max Preps. Buchanan remaining in that top spot for the second straight week. Liberty slotting in there at number 2. And then you got Memorial, Central, and Clovis West rounding out your top 5. Frontier cracking the top 10 once again down there at number 9. Coach Taylor, back to you.
All right, well, coming up here next on FFX, the Renegades return to Memorial Stadium looking to redeem themselves after a road loss. How BC fared against top-ranked Golden West when we return.
FFX is proud to be fitted by Finos. When it comes to quality men's suits in Bakersfield, Finos menswear and tuxedo is all you need. Huddle up. It's time for Coach's Corner with Renegade head football coach R. Todd Littlejohn.
Welcome into Coach's Corner. It's Kern County's favorite segment, and I feel like I actually get to learn something about football sitting here with you, Coach. I want to talk about the halfway point of the season. We just finished up week 5. We've got 7 teams that have byes. Who's impressed you most at this point? Who do you think can really make a deep run as we kind of end out the regular season with league play?
Well, of course, Liberty, as we know them, but Centennial, Frontier, they just, they continue to excel each week. And I think Frontier, because they've had some close games, they know how to win late in the game. They know how to play the full game as well. Centennial, they're realizing they have a few more weapons as well, get great quarterback play. Tehachapi, though, we've talked about them, and they've been very impressive. And of course, whenever you can win on the road, that starts to show a championship team, because you're going to have to do that in the playoffs.
Tehachapi, one of the teams that has a bye. How crucial is it to have your bye at this point in the season going into league play? Because we saw some teams with week 2 byes.
Obviously, at this point now, you're able to catch your proverbial breath. You now tailor your practices to stay safe, to stay upright, to do all those things, but to be very sharp as you now start to go into conference play.
That's your week 4 edition of Coach's Corner. It's time for your Renegade Report. Now, Coach, coming off that loss to El Camino, you guys were getting set to face Golden West. This is a team that you guys have been within 2 points of every single year for the last 3 years. Obviously, won last year, 20-19. What was your mindset heading into this game?
The fewest mistakes wins. And I told our players that it's like a ping pong game. When you have 2 evenly matched people, the one who makes the least amount of mistakes wins, and unfortunately that's what ended up happening.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. Let's kind of dissect this down. Golden West, they would score a touchdown early. It's Robert Sarmento, 19-yard catch and run here, Coach.
Yeah, we just didn't get the switch, at the linebacker position like we should have, and left an open space there.
All right, your special teams would kick in after that. It's Christopher Thompson.
Chris Thompson did all this by himself, literally, and really, really nice plays by him, and he was the spark, obviously, of the game yesterday.
All right, his first of 2 punt returns, but those were the only points your Renegades would score all night. It was the Wrestlers the rest of the night, Coach. I mean, how were you guys not able to capitalize on the opportunities that you needed to?
I tell you, I'm still trying to figure that out, unfortunately, but there were 2 plays in the game that led to 10 points, which, of course, we lost by 10, and that's what we're really, really zeroing in on and trying to stress to our players.
All right, Coach, what were your key takeaways from this loss?
Well, again, mistakes at the critical times. We missed those scoring opportunities, that one on 4th and 1 at the goal line. Those 2 turnovers, which led to 10 points, and we just got inconsistent play with special teams. You see the punter drop the ball. You saw some things that we weren't able to get guys down. We had 2 penalties on only 10 guys out on the field. It's not clean, and you can't do that versus a good football team.
All right, I know you pretty well, so I know that you're going to try to clean all this up because you got a big matchup coming up here. Let's take a look at Mount Sac. It's next Saturday, 6 p.m. Well, that will do it for your Renegade Report, but stick around because it's time to break out your Sunday best. That's right, we're introducing your FFX Play and Player of the Week next.
FFX is proud to partner with Valley Sports Media. Follow at V Sports Media for exclusive football content throughout the season. It's trophy time, the FFX Awards, brought to you by Jerry's Pizza and Pub.
Welcome back. Week 5 provided so many highlight-worthy moments, it's hard to choose. We say that every week, but it really is. I mean, we have to go through all these highlights, and then we got to pick a kid to win that play of the week. Well, Coach, it's time to do that. Let's hand out some hardware. It's time for your FFX Play of the Week. All right, Coach, this one comes courtesy of Centennial and Sanger. It's Copus, Adam Copus, to Jackson Santiago.
What a great combination by them. And you saw that move that he made right there with those 2 defenders. And well, I tell you, Centennial is doing a great job right now. And, man, they are on fire. And if that combination keeps up like it is, they're going to be hard to beat.
I just love that footwork there. Look at it.
No doubt right there.
Dodging defenders, making his way all the way in for the 80-yard score. Look at this. So good. Jackson Santiago, he's a big man, and he wins your FFX Player of the Week.
Your FFX Player of the Week is presented by Vertical Raise, the premier online fundraising platform.
Coach, it's our favorite time of the show, and this might be one of my favorite weeks to do this because we've been saying we need to have Malachi Statler, and he could have won this award every single week this season. This week, more than deserving. 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, 384 yards. I mean, so impressive. How does it feel to be the FFX Player of the Week?
It feels great. Thanks for having me.
I know that after the game, Coach Bandy had mentioned that there were some things, and you even said it too, feel like you can clean up. What are some of those things, even after a great performance by you?
There's always something you can clean up after every single game. You're not going to play a perfect game every single Friday night. So our defense, we can step that up. Our offense, we can definitely step that up. Our coaching, we can step that up. Everything.
You guys are 4-1 heading into league play. 2 points separate you from perfection. How did you handle that Hanford loss? That was the first blow this season. And how is it going to help prepare you to take on the likes of Liberty, the likes of Centennial?
That was a devastating loss. I will not lie. We came back in that game, and that was amazing. We lost, though, but preparing for the next games that are going to be rough, I mean, I don't like losing at all, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to win for me and my team. So
My kind of guy.
Yeah, I know. All right, Malachi, thank you so much. That's your FFX Player of the Week right there, and that's going to do it for this Sunday expanded edition of FFX. Now, for more high school football coverage, just head to kget.com. Click on that FFX icon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday at 11:11